Welcome to Whispers of Wind Through Willow Leaves, a tranquil audio experience designed to soothe your mind and guide you towards restful sleep. If you find peace in these calming sounds and stories, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more gentle journeys into quietude. We will begin with a brief breathing guidance to help you settle in and prepare for the peaceful afternoon in Clara's garden. For those who wish to go directly to the story, chapter timestamps are available in the description below. Find a comfortable position, allowing your body to relax fully. Let your shoulders soften, your jaw unclench, and feel your limbs become heavy and at ease. Imagine yourself settling onto a soft blanket beneath the shade of a large willow tree, just like Clara. The air is still and peaceful, waiting for the gentle breath of the wind. This is your moment to release the day and welcome tranquility. Let's take a deep, calming breath together. Inhale slowly and deeply through your nose, drawing in the quiet stillness of the garden air. Feel your lungs gently expand, filling with peace. Now exhale slowly through your mouth, like a soft whisper carried on the breeze. With each exhale, release any tension, any lingering thoughts of the day. Imagine the gentle whisper of wind moving through the willow leaves, carrying away any worries. Continue to breathe gently, allowing your breath to be natural and easy. Feel the subtle coolness of the shade and the soft earth beneath you. Listen for the quiet sounds of the garden, the distant bird song, the gentle rustle of unseen leaves. There is nothing to do, nowhere to be, except here, in this moment of peace. Allow the whispers of the willow leaves to guide you into a state of deep relaxation, inviting calm and serenity to wash over you. Now, let us step into Clara's garden and listen to the whispers of the wind. Chapter 1. Finding Shade Under the Willow. Clara gently pushed open the French doors, stepping from the cool dimness of her house into the soft embrace of her garden. The afternoon sun, while not harsh, held a definite warmth, a gentle pressure on her skin that encouraged a seeking of deeper shade. She moved barefoot onto the lawn, the blades of grass yielding beneath her weight with a slight spring. The coolness of the earth, still holding the memory of morning dew, rose up to meet her soles, a refreshing contrast to the sun-kissed air. Each step was a soft, almost silent footfall on the verdant carpet. Her gaze was drawn immediately to the old willow tree, the undisputed monarch of her small domain. Its vast canopy, a tapestry woven from countless leaves, billowed outwards and downwards, creating a haven of shadow that beckoned with the promise of tranquility. The branches, thick and gnarled with age, reached towards the ground like welcoming arms, their leafy fringes brushing the grass in a silent caress. She walked towards it with a sense of quiet pilgrimage, a familiar comfort pulling her like an invisible thread. As she approached the willow's embrace, the air around her shifted, becoming noticeably cooler, softer. The sunlight, which had felt open and expansive on the lawn, now filtered through the dense foliage above, breaking into dappled patterns that danced gently on the grass. It was a space set apart, a quiet room sculpted by nature where the intensity of the day seemed to melt away, replaced by a hushed serenity. The very air felt still, holding its breath in anticipation, waiting for the gentle awakening of the afternoon breeze. Clara reached for the soft woven blanket draped over her arm. Its texture, familiar and comforting against her fingertips, was a promise of ease and relaxation. She unfurled it deliberately, letting it settle onto the grass beneath the willow's outer branches. Choosing her spot with care, she positioned it where the thick roots of the willow rose slightly from the earth, forming a natural, inviting backrest. With a soft sigh, she lowered herself onto the blanket and leaned back against the sturdy trunk. The bark, rough and textured beneath her hand, pressed firmly against her spine, a solid, grounding sensation that connected her to the deep, silent earth below. Feel the support of the earth beneath you, holding you gently and firmly. Closing her eyes for a long moment, she drew in a deep, slow breath. The air within the willow's shade was subtly different, cooler, damper, infused with the mingled scents of earth and green. Beneath the overarching fragrance of the garden, she detected the delicate, sweet perfume of roses from the nearby flower bed, a classic summer aroma that mingled with the fresher, greener scent of the newly mown lawn. It was a simple, familiar fragrance, yet profoundly comforting, a signature scent of her garden in the heart of summer. Allow the gentle scent to calm your mind and ease your breathing. Opening her eyes, she lifted her gaze, peering upwards through the intricate lacework of willow branches and leaves. The leaves, a vibrant, almost luminous green in the filtered light, hung still and unmoving, each one a tiny, perfectly formed shape outlined against the pale, cloudless blue of the sky. They were suspended in a moment of perfect stillness, waiting, like the hushed air, for the first gentle breath of wind to awaken them. A robin, bold and bright, hopped onto a low-hanging willow branch, its red breast a vivid splash of color against the muted greens and browns. It tilted its head inquisitively, one bright eye glinting, listening with focused attention to the quiet sounds of the garden. Its movements were quick, precise, economical. For a moment, it seemed to share the stillness, a fellow inhabitant of this peaceful, shaded sanctuary, a silent observer of the afternoon's quiet unfolding. Clara settled more deeply against the willow, her body softening, releasing its hold on the day's accumulated tension. The garden held its breath, suspended in a moment of tranquil expectancy. She waited too, content in the stillness, in the quiet anticipation of the afternoon's gentle unfolding, of the whispers of wind that were sure to come. The profound peace of the garden began to seep into her, a soothing balm for a mind that had been too long engaged with the demands of the day. Feel the gentle peace spreading through your body, softening your muscles and calming your thoughts. The world beyond the garden's edge, with its distant, muffled sounds, the gentle murmur of traffic, the faint drone of a distant airplane. The occasional soft bark of a dog seemed to recede, to fade into a muted background hum. These sounds, far from intrusive, served only to underscore the profound stillness within the willow's shade, amplifying the quiet promise of peace and the gentle anticipation of the whispering wind. Chapter 2: The First Whisper of Wind. An almost imperceptible shift in the atmosphere, a subtle change in the quality of the air itself, heralded the arrival of the breeze. It was a delicate tremor, a soft sigh that stirred through the garden, touching everything with an invisible ethereal hand. The profound stillness began to yield, to soften, to awaken into gentle movement and sound. Look closely and you might see the very air shimmer as it begins to move. First, it manifested as the faintest rustle in the uppermost branches of the willow, a delicate whisper so subtle it barely registered above the ambient quiet of the afternoon. It was more a suggestion of wind than its full presence, a mere hint, a promise whispered on the air. Yet it was enough to awaken the garden from its tranquil midday slumber. Listen closely, and you might just catch the very first hint of sound. Clara closed her eyes once more, deliberately focusing her attention, tuning her senses to the emerging sound. The whisper grew fractionally stronger, becoming more distinct, more defined, a soft, susurrus sound that seemed to emanate from the leaves themselves, a secret language spoken by the willow in the nascent breeze. It was a sound like nature's quiet secrets being unveiled, bring tension or unspoken stress. The soft whisper of the willow leaves was a soothing balm for her mind, a gentle caress for her spirit. With each exhale, release any tension you may be holding. The breeze continued its gradual strengthening, the whispering of the willow becoming a more constant rhythmic sound, a steady pulse of nature's quiet rhythm. It was a sound that inherently invited relaxation, that naturally encouraged letting go of worries and anxieties, a gentle auditory reminder of the constant, peaceful rhythms that underpin the natural world. Completely lost in the evolving soundscape and the gentle, comforting touch of the wind, Clara drifted deeper into a state of quiet contemplation. Her mind softened, her thoughts began to slow and drift like the willow leaves in the breeze. Her body relaxed further into the peaceful embrace of the afternoon garden, soothed by the constant, gentle whispering of the willow. Chapter 3: Observing the garden's quiet life. As the breeze gained a little more strength, the whispering of the willow intensified further, transforming into a soft melodic murmur that resonated throughout the shaded space beneath its expansive branches. It was no longer just a whisper, but a gentle, continuous song, a sound that seemed to weave itself seamlessly into the very fabric of the afternoon, a constant, soothing presence, a peaceful soundtrack to the unfolding moments. Let the gentle murmur wash over you, calming your mind. Clara opened her eyes again, her senses feeling newly awakened, sharpened by the gentle rhythm of the wind. The garden around her seemed to have come alive, every element imbued with a quiet, subtle energy. The world around her appeared to come into sharper focus, each detail enhanced, imbued with a newfound peaceful significance. The garden was indeed alive, teeming with a quiet, understated vitality, a subtle, peaceful energy that pulsed just beneath the surface of stillness. She watched a robin, the same bright-breasted bird from before, hopping determinedly across the lawn, its head cocked sharply to one side, listening with intense focus. It paused abruptly, perfectly still for a moment, then suddenly pecked with surprising force at the grass, triumphantly pulling a long, wriggling worm from the damp earth. The robin's movements were unhurried yet efficient, a small, everyday drama of survival playing out in the tranquil theater of the quiet garden. A busy bumblebee, plump and fuzzy, buzzed purposefully around the fragrant lavender bushes, its body dusted liberally with bright yellow pollen. It moved with single-minded dedication from flower spike to flower spike, its buzzing a low, industrious hum that added another layer to the rich tapestry of the garden's evolving soundscape. The lavender stems swayed gently in the breeze, releasing their heady, calming scent into the air, a fragrant offering to the gentle wind and the attentive bee. Sunlight, now more actively filtered through the constantly moving willow leaves, painted ever-shifting patterns of light and shadow on the verdant lawn. These dancing patterns were utterly mesmerizing, constantly evolving, never repeating, yet always peaceful and harmonious. A visual rhythm that mirrored the constant auditory rhythm of the wind, whispering through the leaves above. Notice the gentle dance of light and shadow, a peaceful ballet on the grass. Clara's gaze drifted to a ladybug, a tiny jewel-like creature, crawling slowly and deliberately on a nearby rose leaf, its bright red shell adorned with precisely placed black spots. It moved with a measured pace, its delicate, almost invisible legs carrying it with determined purpose across the textured green surface of the leaf. Such an incredibly small creature, yet so perfectly formed, so exquisitely detailed, a miniature marvel of nature's artistry existing within the vastness of the garden. She allowed her hearing to expand, taking in the more distant sounds of the surrounding neighborhood, the faint, almost imperceptible hum of a lawnmower starting up several streets away, the distant muffled laughter of children playing in a nearby park, the gentle, unobtrusive murmur of traffic flowing on a road beyond the houses. These sounds were all muted, softened by distance, and effectively screened by the sheltering, sound-absorbing branches of the willow, becoming just another subtle layer in the garden's overall peaceful soundscape, adding depth and dimension without intrusion. A squirrel, sleek and brown, darted suddenly across the open lawn, its bushy tail held high and twitching with alertness. It paused momentarily at the base of the willow trunk, sniffing the air with quick inquisitive movements, then with surprising agility and speed, scampered up the rough bark, disappearing almost instantly into the dense leafy foliage above. A fleeting burst of energetic movement in the otherwise tranquil scene, a momentary flash of life before returning to stillness. Closing her eyes once more, Clara let the combined sounds and layered sense of the garden wash completely over her, enveloping her senses in a wave of peaceful calm. The whispering willow, the diligent buzzing of the bee, the distant softened sounds of human life, all blended together into a seamless, harmonious whole, a natural symphony of profound peace and quiet wonder, a balm for the soul. She felt an increasing sense of deep connection to this small, carefully tended patch of earth, to the quiet, understated life unfolding around her in miniature dramas of nature. The garden was more than just a space. It was a sanctuary, a place of refuge, a tangible reminder of the simple, profound beauty and the constant, peaceful rhythms that persisted even in the midst of the sometimes hectic pace of everyday life. Chapter 4. The Willow's Gentle Wisdom. Deeply immersed in the gentle, rhythmic murmur of the wind-stirred willow and the quiet, mindful observations of her surrounding garden, Clara found her inner world softening, her mind gradually becoming still and quiet, like a tranquil pond reflecting the sky. The constant soothing whisper of the willow leaves seemed to possess an almost magical calming effect, gently easing away the minor worries, the fleeting anxieties, and the residual frustrations that had, without her conscious awareness, lingered from the day's activities. She allowed herself to briefly consider the tasks she had diligently completed, the deadlines she had successfully met, the various small challenges she had navigated and overcome. Viewed now from the tranquil vantage point of the garden within the willow's peaceful embrace, these former concerns seemed to shrink in significance, to recede into the background of her awareness. The willow, in its branches reaching eternally towards the vast expanse of the sky. She felt a growing sense of profound connection to this ancient willow, a silent, wordless understanding that seemed to transcend the boundaries of language and thought. The tree seemed to emanate a gentle, almost palpable wisdom, a quiet, deep acceptance of the inherent natural rhythms of life, of growth and inevitable decay, of constant change interwoven with enduring constancy. The quality of the light in the garden subtly shifted once more, the air growing perceptibly cooler as the afternoon imperceptibly progressed, the sun beginning its slow, majestic descent towards the distant horizon. The shadows cast by the willow and the surrounding plants lengthened noticeably, stretching lazily across the lawn, gradually painting the green grass in deepening hues of shadow and soft, muted light. Clara noticed the light itself transforming, becoming softer, warmer, suffused with a rich golden glow that gently bathed the entire garden in a peaceful, ethereal radiance. The leaves of the willow, illuminated from beneath by the slanting afternoon sun, seemed to glow from within, as if lit by an inner luminescence, their vibrant green taking on a deeper, richer hue. She inhaled slowly, deeply, savoring the delicate coolness of the air against her skin, the lingering warmth of the sun still radiating gently, the comforting, grounding weight of the earth supporting her beneath the soft blanket. She felt profoundly grounded, completely present in the moment, utterly at peace with herself and with the quiet beauty of her immediate surroundings. Feel yourself grounded and at peace, supported by the earth. The willow's gentle wisdom seemed to seep into her very being, a quiet, intuitive understanding that life itself, much like the garden in which she sat, unfolded naturally at its own unhurried pace, according to its own inherent rhythm. There was truly no need to rush, no urgent need to strive or push, only to be fully present, to mindfully observe, to attentively listen, to gratefully find and embrace the quiet, profound peace inherent in the simple, everyday moments of existence. The whispering leaves continued their soothing, rhythmic murmur, a constant, gentle reminder of the peaceful, unhurried flow of time itself, of the enduring beauty and quiet power of the natural world, and of the profound, restorative wisdom to be discovered in the simple act of being fully present, here and now, in this tranquil moment. Chapter 5. Carrying the Calm Within. As the sun began its final descent, slipping slowly and gracefully towards the far horizon, casting long, dramatic shadows across the garden, the gentle wind gradually began to subside, its breath softening, its energy diminishing. The whispering of the willow leaves, which had been a constant, soothing presence throughout the afternoon, now softened in turn, diminishing from a melodic murmur to a gentle sigh, a final, peaceful exhalation of the afternoon breeze. Feel the wind gently subside, carrying away any remaining tension. The air around her became stiller once more, regaining the profound stillness of the early afternoon, the garden quieting, settling into the peaceful hush of approaching evening. The daytime sounds of the neighborhood began to fade further into the distance, replaced by the more subtle sounds of evening's gentle arrival, the increasingly insistent chirping of crickets starting their nightly chorus, the soft rustle of unseen creatures stirring in the deepening shadows of the undergrowth, the gentle cooing of a distant dove. Clara felt a deep, pervasive sense of peace and profound tranquility settle within her, permeating her mind and body, a quiet, lasting calm that had been carefully nurtured and cultivated by the long, peaceful afternoon spent beneath the sheltering branches of the old willow tree. The gentle, rhythmic whisper of the wind, the quiet, mindful observations of the garden's subtle life, the willow's unspoken, gentle wisdom, all had combined in perfect harmony to create a quiet sanctuary of profound peace deep within her own being. She slowly stretched her limbs, her muscles feeling relaxed and wonderfully at ease, loose and unknotted. The accumulated weight of the day, which she had barely been consciously aware of carrying, seemed to have lifted entirely, replaced by a welcome lightness of spirit, a palpable sense of gentle renewal, of inner refreshment. The garden, in its quiet, unassuming way, had worked its subtle, restorative magic, gently re-establishing balance and profound calm within her. Deliberately, slowly, she began gathering her soft blanket, folding it with care and mindful attention, savoring the last lingering moments of peaceful quietude beneath the willow's protective canopy. She paused, taking a final lingering look around the garden, absorbing the soft golden light of the late afternoon, the lengthening shadows that stretched across the lawn, the profound, encompassing stillness of the air. The lavender bushes, now bathed in the warm, honeyed light of the setting sun, released their calming fragrance even more intensely, a final fragrant offering to the approaching evening before the cool stillness of night descended. The roses, too, seemed to glow with an inner radiance, their colors deepening, intensifying in the fading light, their velvety petals catching the last rays of the sun. Clara rose slowly, deliberately, feeling deeply grounded and wonderfully refreshed, both in body and mind. She walked barefoot once more across the lawn, her feet sinking again into the soft grass, now noticeably cooler and damper with the approaching evening dew. The garden felt subtly different in the late afternoon light, imbued with a different, quieter kind of beauty, a more contemplative, introspective atmosphere, a peaceful prelude to the stillness of night. As she reached the French doors, ready to re-enter her house, she paused and turned back to gaze one last time at the old willow tree. It stood tall and perfectly still, its graceful branches silhouetted now against the softly fading colors of the evening sky, a silent, steadfast guardian of peace and tranquility, a benevolent presence in her life. She carried the profound calm of the garden deeply within her, a quiet, precious treasure to take with her into the evening and to hold on to throughout the peaceful night, a gentle promise of restful sleep and sweetly tranquil dreams. The garden's profound calm was now, and would remain, her own.